This is Jason Jones with the City Salt. We're here with DJ Williams, whose band DJ Williams Project is performing at Martin's Downtown 10 tonight. We've also got Henry Lazenby here, a guitar player who's going to ask some gear questions here in a second. DJ, thanks for being here with
Thanks
us.
for having me, man. It's an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. I think I read somewhere it's been 20 years with the DJ Williams Project. Is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah, we got our 20-year anniversary June 3rd of this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you so
20
much.
years.
Appreciate it.
I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah.
You've been playing Martin's and Roanoke a lot of that time.
Yeah, Martin's is probably one of the first places in Roanoke that had me to play when I was first starting out. So yeah, we've got a long history with Jason and all those guys.
Awesome. I've seen you putting out a lot of albums in the last 3 or so years. You've been prolific, I think.
Yeah, man, I put out one album every year for the last 3 years.
Very cool. And you're touring in support of the new one, Soldier of Love, right?
Yeah, so like this is separate from the project actually. So
Okay.
I'm actually just touring under my own name because the project is a very specific band with specific members, and I'll only call it that if it's with those guys. And eventually, when I broke off and I moved out west, I was called DJ Williams from Shots Fired. The whole Shots Fired name sparked a lot of controversy amongst our people, so I just retired that, and everything's under my name now.
Tell us who's in the band you're playing with.
Todd Harrington, the bass player from the DJ Williams Project with me. Nico Williams from Street Days of Richmond.
So Nico and Terry.
Yep. And a good friend of mine from Denver, Colorado, where I live now.
Okay.
Irish Blue Buzz playing keys.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm born to be a special case.
Thornton, Saxony, and Jones.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
Right? All right, very good. And he's coming down from Richmond.
He's come down from DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
DC, very cool. And I wanted to, you had some really great special guests on or featured artists on your new album. One of them being Kanika Moore from Doom Flamingo.
Absolutely.
She's playing here soon with Doom. What was the connection that brought Kanika into your realm?
Kanika and I met originally, I want to say on Jam Cruise. It's
Okay.
kind of blurry because it's Jam Cruise. So I'm pretty sure that's the first time that we met was there. And like she's a force of nature. She's one of those people like you see for the first time. And it was for me, I was like, I need to work with this person. And as soon as I got a chance to meet her face to face, we became almost like instant friends, and we had this great kind of like rapport. And when I started writing this record, she was one of the first people I knew I wanted to do a collab with, and through phone calls, and she did it remotely, throwing stuff back and forth, and finally came to fruition.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She's on the title track. So
She is. Yep.
awesome. And another person from Richmond, I think, DJ Harrison. He's all over the album.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about who he is?
Yeah. Devon Harris is his name, but he goes by DJ Harris.
Okay.
He's a multi-instrumentalist from Richmond, Virginia, and also the keyboard player for Butcher Brown, one of my absolute favorite bands, not just from my hometown, but in general. And he's a genius. He's like a prodigy, and he's perfect pitch, and everything he does fits in perfect for a song. So when I was putting this record together, I was definitely at the top of my list of people I wanted to line up with as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Butcher Brown's also playing the Jefferson Center.
Oh, they're
pretty
nice.
soon.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
to see them this summer.
They're so amazing.
Very
They're
cool.
right.
And one other person on there, Roosevelt Collier, he's on the song Black Man.
Mhm.
Roosevelt's from the Lead Boys.
Yep.
And what made him the perfect fit on Pedal Steel, I guess?
Because of that song. Like
Yeah.
we played that song back from the demos that I made from my home studio when I brought it to the studio. And it's one of those songs, as soon as it hit and we're listening to it on the big speakers, I was like, this song meets Roosevelt. And literally like texted him and I was like, listen to this. He was like, oh man, I'm actually coming to Denver in a few weeks. He was like, I'll just swing by. And that's exactly what he did. He played his show. And then the next day came into the studio, did like 2 takes on the song. We like hugged, and he like went to the airport and flew out. Like, so
What a pro, man.
exactly.
That was your home studio?
No, we recorded most of that record at a studio called Stanhope, which they actually just sold, but we were the last record to make there. And it's a really cool studio outside the city of Denver, and you walk out of the studio, you can see Red Rocks up to the left and the city of downtown Denver to the right. So like this on this really beautiful farmland. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
On that area.
Yeah.
And Adam Dykes from Lettuce, is he on this project, or you've been working with him?
We working with him. He actually lives down the street from me in Denver. So
We're talented neighbors.
Yeah, so it's quite convenient. And like, since we're both living in the same neighborhood, we actually end up going to each other's studio a lot when we're both off the road. And he heard some of my record by accident, and then I brought his name up kind of as a joke in the studio. And my label was like, we can get him if you want. And I was like, well, that's no way. And like, so he's on like 4 or 5 tracks of the record.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And one other guest, one of my favorite conversations I've had with the musicians, with Alan Evans.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Charleston. I saw that he's on Let's Go.
Mm-hmm.
And where did you meet up with Alan? Was that in Carl Denson?
No, I met Alan formally in 2006. Soul Live came to Virginia and had a show, and Eric Krasner was a guitar player. We got really sick, and they sent him home, and they didn't want to cancel the show. So Alan, somehow my name came up, and Alan called me up, and I subbed for Krasner for Soul Live, and it was intense. Like I never met these guys. I'm literally learning Soul Live song. My girlfriend at the time was like driving me to the show. I'm like have like headphones on and like charting out the Soul Live songs in the back. So I met the band and immediately played with them. And then from then on, we just had a really great relationship.
Did you play more shows with them?
Yeah, yeah. And Soul Live's not the kind of band that has like substitutes. It's 3 guys. But it's like not. So it was a very scary and awesome moment for me at the same time. I kind of wish I didn't have to meet them, having to like play a show for them with like the music, but it actually turned out for the best because we became good friends. And then down the road, he ended up coming back to the Tiny Universe to be the drummer in 2014.
Okay, very good. I think that was around the time. 2021.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about the Tiny Universe. So I understand you left the band in August. Are you still in contact with Carl?
Yeah, we shoot texts and stuff back and forth pretty much weekly. Yeah. Very funny because he always checks in on me. And that's why we all call him Carl. It's like family. Yeah.
What's the one big thing you've learned from Carl playing with him all that time?
Man, how to command a stage. Really, the guy's been on a kingpin of the not just the jam scene, but the jazz world. He plays for the biggest rock band in the world right now. So it's like learning how to command a stage, no matter how big or small. We actually had a name for it. We called it the Tiny University. Of like just always kind of like he pushes you to be the best person you can, and like yeah, he's just that guy. He wants to pull the best out of anyone that he's working with. So
that's very cool. Almost like Converse and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw one of your albums from 2021, Almost Christmas. Where we a little less than a week shy of Thanksgiving. You're going to hear a Christmas jam tonight?
No, not tonight, because I haven't had a chance to rehearse any of those things.
And I'm going to turn it over to Henry here soon to ask you some guitar gear questions. Henry's a guitar player with War Child, Mad Iguanas, and Seed Picker, and he's got a few questions for you. So
yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say it's an honor to be able to ask these questions of you because I'm
absolutely
a master musician.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I guess I'll just keep it simple. What guitar are you playing tonight?
I brought 2 guitars. I came out with 1 guitar. I have 2 now because I got one on the road. Nice. But I brought my Gibson 335 with me,
Great.
Which I'm a Telecaster person. So like the Tele is like that's home for me. Like everything I've done is mainly done on a Telecaster. The Gibson, I call it the wife and the mistress. So the Gibson's the wife, and the Tele's the wife, and the Gibson's the mistress. And when I kind of feel like I'm getting stale, I kind of switch that to this because different guitars kind of force you to play differently. Right. So I've got my Tele and my Gibson with me.
That's great. So I assume the Tele is single coils and the 335 is humbucker?
Yep. Yeah.
Was you enjoying the humbucker tone?
I do. Yeah. Especially actually having not played on it for so long, coming back, so I'm like, oh yeah, forget. Because like, you hit a good power chord on that thing and it just rings out for days. So
that's great. What amp are you using on that?
Fender Hot Rod DeVille. Yeah, no deluxe. Hot Rod Deluxe. Yeah. The 112.
Are you using a lot of effects and pedals, or you're just relying on?
No, I have my overdrive, delay and some on and off reverb. I used to use a ton of effects, and over, I say the last 5 years, I've stripped myself of all of them and slowly been adding back because I just want guitar to sound like guitar.
Right.
And yeah, for now.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I look forward to hearing that 335 tonight.
It's gonna be fun,
Some
man.
bridge pickup.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
Can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, man.
It's great. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, DJ. Will you tell everyone where they can listen to the new album?
Yeah, Soldier of Love. It's streaming everywhere: Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and vinyl's for sale on perceptionrecords.com, as well as merch, t-shirts, and some other new stuff we have coming out. Check out djwilliamsmusic.com for all my Twitters.
Thanks, DJ. We'll see you at the show.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
Thanks.